rooms. I can't remember what the.
I think it had something to do with
Now we're
like.
hearing Corvinus's fucking wheezes from the other room.
I think it was just the incompetence of the situation and stuff like that. Like sending that security, uh,
Oh yeah, that was it.
the security
Yeah, she
message,
was
if I remember
yeah, she was
correctly.
angry about that. Yeah, she was angry about that.
Okay. All right. Gonna delete something real quick. All right. So Velik, I think
Yep.
you are the last person in the corridor besides Chaaran. So what's Velik going to do? Is he going to his quarters or somewhere else? Or
Well, the order was given to go to quarters, so I think
okay.
that's the correct thing he would do anyways, because he's very much by the law and all that.
Yeah.
So.
I thought he was going to say, it doesn't really matter where I go and sit down in the corridor.
Oh, he is definitely going to be like very hopeless, depressed, and cynical. But he's going to be like sitting in his quarters and just contemplating life and maybe
Okay.
meditating a bit. So.
All right. Just
Correct thing he.
All right. And what about Chaaran? He was he headed towards sickbay or was he just heading down the corridor?
So Soth, he'd handed Corvinus over to medical and been told to leave. That's when the order to go back to quarters was given. So having done that, he'll sort of hang around outside the medical bay for a few moments just to make sure that Corvinus is okay. But then he would head back to his room as instructed. He has no particular reason to disobey orders yet.
Okay. Let's see. Is there a Velik? Is there between Vilo and Cadet Krylos? Which one of them would you bunk with? Because we didn't actually set up bunks, but
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who was Krylos again?
They're both year 1 cadets. Krylos was a security Andorian, and Vilo was an Orion pilot.
Oh, we're gonna bunk with the Andorian then, because that
Okay.
animosity is gonna help a lot.
Alright, so we'll put you over here. And Karava and Charan, you guys are heading toward. But as Charan, as you're heading into your quarters with Vilo and Karava, you would, remember what Ukath was doing, and you would still have those feelings.
Yes. His mind's eye. He remembers the suddenly pleasing view from behind as she walked into her chambers.
Yep. Security instructor Lieutenant Dufresne is going to run pretty much to Ukath's quarters to try to break it up. Now, if I remember correctly, Cadet Thiesen what was he doing in the back? Was he still looking into something? The bugs, maybe?
Yeah, I was looking into the bugs, but I thought I had my emotions under check with like 3 other crewmen that were around.
Yeah, like you still have those foreign emotions. You're just not. They're just not being outwardly portrayed.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not laughing hysterically or sitting in a corner crying or anything like that. You're just like you look like you've got everything under control, basically.
Right.
So I'm gonna say, let's see. Heinz gonna end up back in his quarters. Training instructor Merzek goes to the front where all the chairs are, the passenger area, and says, Lieutenant Runa, Gunnery Sergeant Omavath, I need your help. We seem to be going through an issue. If you could come with me, Gunnery Sergeant Omavath, I want you posted with Lieutenant Dufresne outside Ukath's quarters and guard there to make sure nobody goes in or out. Lieutenant Runa, if you would go to sickbay to help them figure out what's going on and how to fix it.
Yes, sir.
Alright, and then as you guys go to do that, he is going to walk back down the corridor, and head towards sickbay with Runa as well. And Snowpaw and Dorton and Corvinus. I know Corvinus is laughing hysterically as they enter, so you don't have to tell me that. But you guys, if I remember correctly, have basically gotten the scan that tells you that it is the Xanthi fever. So what is your next step?
I'm going to go to the drawer and see if we have any certain medications that help do mood stabilization medications.
Okay. You definitely have that, but you know that would only kind of curtail or postpone the effects, not cure them. But it would definitely help.
Yes.
So are you gonna try? I'm guessing Corvinus is gonna be your experiment, correct? To see if it works.
Yes. Actually,
Permission granted.
But yeah.
This is so exciting. I've never treated Xanthi fever.
Basically, Runa's rubbing her head like it looks like she wants quietness. She's obsessed with it.
Merzek. No, go ahead.
I'll just walk up. I'll walk up as I put the module in, and go. This should hopefully this should help, and I put it up to the neck and inject.
All right. Control and medicine. Does Corvinus resist or no?
Unintentionally resist.
What is he clapping or something? Yay!
No, like just aggressively. Basically, from the hysteria, is like his entire body's just convulsing. Like
I've
sometimes
location.
Yep. Control medicine. Go ahead and make Corvinus make a since you're not actively resisting, but you are convulsing. I'll just say that the difficulty goes from 1 to 2 instead of it having being opposed or contested.
What should I roll?
You don't have to roll it. I just increased the difficulty.
What species is she?
He is human, I believe.
Yeah, human.
Would xenobiology work in this case since I am a half breed?
Sure.
All right, so I have a focus.
I won't have that work every time, but in this instance, I will.
Yeah. All right. How much momentum do we still have?
Ooh, let's see.
Can I help by trying to keep her calm?
You have 5 momentum, and you can assist. Yes, it would be the same. It depends how you keep Corvinus calm. If you're doing it through like bedside manner, it would be presence. If you're trying to physically hold them down, it would be control.
We'll go with presence. I'm trying to counsel and counsel her.
Wait. I want to see this because that has the potential to be really funny. 2 hysterical and ecstatic people trying to talk to each other. So go ahead and roll.
I'm not hysterical yet. I'm just very happy.
Okay. Well, that reminds me. Then how about that did go well. That is good. But how about all the player characters? So that'd be Corvinus, Dorton, Snowpaw, and Runa make a control and command, or presence and command, either one. Difficulty, I think it was difficulty 3 last time, so it's difficulty 4 this time. You have 7 momentum.
I don't.
And composure applies?
Composure does apply, yep.
And can I use true momentum?
Sure. So you're down to 5.
Okay, so it's now a complication is what, a 3 you said?
No, the complication range is still 1. It's just you got to get 4 successes.
I will use 1 momentum as well then.
Okay, so you're down to 4.
I think I will also use a momentum to get an extra die.
Okay, down to 3. Snowpaw, you got it, and you got them back on momentum, so you're up to 4. However, Runa and Dorton, still waiting on Corvinus's roll.
I already rolled.
I think I have a talent that applies here. Just give me a moment to look at it.
No problem.
Yeah,
So,
she rolled.
all right, so those of you who failed, you are full force in your, whether it's being ecstatic, or whether it's being obsessive, or whether it's the other one that I don't remember. Let's see, what was that? That was envious. I don't know how you're gonna do that one.
He resisted it.
Yeah, but whatever it is, you are now almost psychotically in that moment, in that emotion.
And the howling of the cackling howling
Commences, yeah.
intensifies. And my arm actually swings at everywhere.
Yep. What
And I just the more that that Corvinus laughs, the more that I start laughing.
It's one of those infectious laughs.
And I'm guessing the wheezing would also intensify, worsen your laughter too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's hilarious.
All right. What about Runa?
Runa probably wants to at least shut Corvinus up, so she'll inject her with the just to knock her out.
Well, they succeeded in their injection already, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
But so the Corvinus, the difficulty because of the injection was reduced to a 2, but you only got a 1, so you still failed. However, you would notice that the level of hysteria and ecstasy is beginning to subside a bit, but not much. You're basically it's easier for you to control it. That just means that when you roll, you need 2 successes instead of 4. But it's still there. So Merzek looks around at everything that's happening, exchanges like a look with Dr. Lambert, and then goes over to Snowpaw and says, "Pull up the medical crew manifest. How many betazoids or half betazoids do we have on the ship?"
And I will go to the computer to do so, but as I'm doing so, I will also, as a preventive measure, inject myself.
Okay. You don't have to roll for that unless you plan on resisting it or you're shaking a lot.
No plan. Doing it to myself.
Yeah. All right. So you're. It goes down 2 difficulties to 2 as well for you. And let's see. I'm just checking. No. I'm just checking some things. You don't have to roll for it. Who here is part or completely Betazoid? I don't think there is anybody. Because I know Runa's Delton. Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
So there's only one. Well, actually, before I said that, let me check the staff NPCs. Because, yeah, all those cadets are human. Oh, look. No, he's Delton too. Yep. There is only one, which, you know, the amount of people that you guys have on the ship, it's not like everybody knows everybody's race, especially if you haven't met them, like, in person. And you see that the pilot, Ensign Aslad, is half Betazoid. However, his other half is an alien species that is not a Federation member with telepathic abilities, and therefore, that is why the illness of Xanthi fever has become this crazy variant. Because normally it wouldn't be this bad, but it is now. So you will be able to come up with an antidote. However, you're not 100% sure it's going to work due to his hybrid nature. So training instructor Merzek is looking over your shoulder at this information and then looks to you and he says, we're going to need help. He turns to Runa. He says, Lieutenant Runa, go get Velik and... Do we have any other science? Just Johnson. And Hines. Question for you, Mac. Do you want Johnson to assist or do you want to stick with Runa? Could only have one main.
Really... Yeah, I'll have difference between Runa and I'll say I'll stick with Runa because she knows more about infectious diseases.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna say Runa is going to be the one leading the task. So you guys are gonna need to make a difficulty 5 roll because this is a completely alien illness. If you make the roll, then great. Then you've come up with the cure and everything like that. If you don't make the roll, you will be able to make try again at a later time. So Runa, I will let
Is there
you.
any way to bring the difficulty down?
If you have a talent that will do that, or if you can come up with some kind of advantage narratively, you can spend 2 momentum, and I might, depending on what that advantage is, I might say that you can reduce the difficulty to 4. It just depends. You also have several assisting individuals.
All right, I have quick study for medically, quick study, and let's see, focuses.
Yeah, focus.
Besides emergency medication and xenobiology are my 2 that would make sense for that. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I have to work with.
Yeah, so none of that would probably do anything to reduce the difficulty.
What's unconventional thinking?
What was that, Matt?
Unconventional thinking.
Is that a talent, or
I'm just bringing up the stat. It's a talent.
is that a talent that Runa has?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what that does.
That's why I'm looking it up.
It's I'm pretty sure.
Is psychiatry going to help?
I mean, it'll help depending on what it is, if it's a talent or a focus, but.
The one that applies here is the focus.
Yeah, that just increases the critical success range. It doesn't reduce difficulty. All right. So I'm looking at science. You said unconventional. All right. During any challenge, which this would be, uses the scientific method to adapt technology in which the character is participating. If the hypothesis being pursued is considered outside the box, the difficulty of the tasks are reduced by 1. It should be noted that players are not aware of the fact they are pursuing an outside the box hypothesis under normal circumstances. I think that talent, the way they have that wrote, is ridiculous. But I will say, because you didn't really discover this through scientific method, I guess you kind of did, you just didn't do it mechanically. So I'll say that you can reduce the difficulty to 4 with that, but you're going to have to come up with an outside of the box. Like, you can't just say, I make a antiviral and inject it into everyone. Because this is, keep in mind, this is a empathic, telepathic virus. This is transmitted through brainwaves, so you've got to come up with something on that same kind of level. And you can come up with some kind of injection, that's fine. It just has to be, the way you get to that solution has to be outside the box. But if you do that, yep.
Yeah. So basically, to understand what this other half of the the Betazoid ensign is, we have to come up with a solution to actually make it so that his abilities don't affect
right.
ours.
So you know who it is. What's the first thing you need to do?
Basically, bring him in to study him.
All right. Well, also Merzek wants Velik, since he's a science officer, to help you. So Velik, if you Merzek calls you, Velik. Merzek to Velik, if you would report to sickbay, please. And Merzek is going to take the gunnery sergeant to get the pilot.
And Runa's going to inject herself, so she.
With the mood stabilizer.
Actually,
Yeah.
I would like to do a little more quick research on this illness, if possible. See if possibly if we actually put them to sleep, if it will actually lessen the overall effect.
Yeah, you can do that with either by spending a momentum to get the answer, or you can roll insight and science or medicine and get the same thing. Difficulty 1.
Yeah, I'll do insight and medicine.
Okay.
And
You gotta
I
roll
didn't
2.
get anything.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh.
roll 2.
No. Sorry, let me do that. There.
Yeah.
There you go. So you got +1 momentum. So basically, if you put him to sleep, that's not really going to change his emotions. What will probably happen is his subconscious will latch on to certain emotions and completely ignore others. So certain emotions might rise in some people and lower in others, but that's probably the best that you can hope for under that situation.
Okay, yep, that's a possible situation if need be, but I'll keep that in the background for now.
As
Got a hilarious idea, guys. What if we just, put him in an escape pod and leave him until he gets better?
That would be actually possibly a crime.
Training
You
instructor.
say crime, I say isolation therapy.
Training instructor Merzek to Cadet Vilo.
What?
As much as I really do not want to take you out of your quarters at the moment, we are down a pilot, and the other one is busy getting reprimanded. So if you would please report to the cockpit, that'd be great. Thanks. Merzek out.
Absolutely. And that's it. He didn't say it.
Yeah. So as you get to the door and it opens, you'll see the gunnery sergeant marine standing right there waiting for you and gestures for you to just make your way down the corridor, and she will follow behind you.
I know the way. Actually, I don't know the way, actually.
It's literally just down the corridor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that way. Yeah. So she's going to go with you to help you fly the ship.
And then mumbles to himself.
Alright, let's see. What's next? Here's a list of personnel. That would have been useful a minute ago. So those of you who have taken the shot, which I believe is everybody except for Velik so far, right? Or is there someone else? I'm talking about player characters in sickbay.
Oh, in sick bay?
I have not.
Okay, so if you have taken the shot, roll another control command or presence command with only a difficulty of 2. If you have not taken the shot, that includes Velik, the difficulty is 4.
Right. So that's me rolling as well, or
Yep, because you're just now entering sickbay. Now, I believe you have Kolinar, which reduces your difficulty to 3.
And it's a command and
Command and control or presence, either one is fine.
okay. Sure.
Runa, it looks like you have succeeded +1 momentum. I think you're at 6 now. Dorton, you
I
succeeded.
begin laughing so uncontrollably that I knock over the entire tray of hypo sprays and send them flying everywhere.
Alright, and when Merzek returns, he sees you do that, and he says, "Are you okay, Cadet?"
I am wonderful. This is the best day ever. I've never had so much chance to test all my theories about everyone here. You're all nuts.
He just narrows his eyes at you. Alright, so who wants... Runa, if you want to roll with 4 difficulty, I will say reason or insight and science. And then Velik, reason or insight, science assist. And then the 2 medical officers, Dorton or medical cadets, Dorton and Snowball, instead of science, it can be medicine. And just roll 1 dice since you guys are assisting. And I will roll for the ship unless somebody else wants to.
Alright, so it's medicine and
use-
reason or insight.
Reason or insight is fine, either one.
Okay.
Whichever
I'm
side.
gonna spend one momentum for
Mhm.
1 dice. And can
Alright.
Oh, and by the way, I got a 4 on the other one, control command.
I see that, so +1, so that puts you guys up to 7 momentum, I believe.
Oh, I used 2 momentum.
Oh, so
in
that
order to
puts
get
you
that.
up to 5 momentum. I need someone to keep track of momentum.
There's my
Plus
assist.
I-
Unfortunately, nothing.
Okay.
I use 1 momentum.
Alright, so 4 momentum. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Velik did not assist there. So it looks like you've got 1 more momentum, back up to 5 momentum. Can someone take over as momentum keeper?
I'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you. Alright, so you guys, with the help of the ship and of each other, the Dr. Lambert is like over in the corner doing something. Maybe he's talking to Corvinus to see how Corvinus is
Last
doing.
time I knew, he was in the corner crying that nobody loved him.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was doing that. He had a brief conversation with Merzek. Merzek asked him if he was okay, and he told him no, and then went back into his corner. So you guys successfully have created something that, but you still haven't explained out, what this thing is that you've created. So I need Bruna or somebody to explain what this scientific creation is that you're going to use on Aslad to ensure that he can not affect any more people.
So it basically restricts the disease just to him instead of spreading it out to everyone else with his other telepathic ability.
Can you repeat that? It does what now?
Basically we're we just it tries to disconnect the basically it tries to.
Okay, what is it? Is it like a device? Is it something you put in somebody? What is? I need to know what it physically is.
Basically, yes.
Guess what? The roll means nothing if you haven't come up with an idea. I'm not going to accept it unless you come up with an idea.
Basically, the device that we actually implanted is the.
So it's a device.
That actually attaches. Yeah. So basically, yes. It's a device that actually.
A cybernetic device. Do you put it on his head? Do you put it in him? In his head, and or is it just like something that he can wear, or is it something that's implanted in him?
It's implanted in him.
Okay, so I now am going to roll for him because he does not want that implanted in him, and if he succeeds, where is it? There it is. Then he is not going to agree to that, and he is going to resist with everything that he has. So let's see. He is going to. I think it's going to be a presence roll. He's a pilot, so he doesn't really have decent presence. And it's gonna. He's definitely going to be a medicine roll. Again, pilot, so not that much in medicine. So basically, as you come over to him with this device and you start explaining to him what it is, he looks at you with utter fear, and with his eyes wide, and he just shakes his head and he says, "Look, I agree with whoever came up with the idea of the escape pod. I would much rather have that rather than something implanted in me for the rest of my life. The Betazoid Xanthi fever is just that. It's a fever. It passes after a time." That does not pass. That will stay in my body for the rest of my life. I do not want that. And he is going to plead, and let's see if he convinces anybody. Now, after his little spiel there, is there anybody, Runa or the medical cadets or Velik, or I know Velik doesn't care, but anybody else that is on his side and may kind of agree to kind of advocate for him, based on his desire to not be have something shoved into him against his will, or are you guys just like, nah, man, you're gonna get this?
He goes, Runa asks, like, did we actually get how many days it actually passes? You
Right.
guys?
Yeah, right now you're about halfway. So you're about 6.5 days. You got about 5.5 more days before you get to Deep Space Nine.
No, for the
The
fever.
fever to break.
Again, he's half alien. It could be a couple of hours, or it could be the rest of his life. Like you just don't know. You don't have enough information. I will say that it is way more powerful and has a lot more variables than a normal Betazoid does. So you think that this is a bit more a more extreme variant of the Xanthi fever.
He goes, she goes, I have no other choice. I don't know if it's going to break in a few hours or it's going to be there for the rest of your life. So it's going to affect anyone that you're around if it's going to be the rest of your life.
Do you want to try to convince him?
I would love to try to convince him.
Yeah.
All right, presence and medicine.
This is my skills.
Yep. Presence and medicine, and either one of you can make the roll, and if you want to assist, you can. If Dorton wants to physically say something, then go by all means.
It can be removed.
Okay, with that statement, Runa, he has you're empathic. You feel him kind of. He is slightly more calm now that you said that, but you're still gonna have to roll to convince him. Presence in medicine or command, one of those two.
I have a talent for this.
Go right ahead, but you've got to physically say it. I don't allow strict rolls and rolls only in this game.
If you want to convince him, go ahead.
Now, what's the cadet's name again?
Ensign.
What's the ensign's name?
Ensign Eslod. Sorry.
Now, Ensign Eslod, I know that this may seem very invasive, but it seems that given your unusual physiology, this could be a permanent condition. Would you rather have this temporary intervention that only needs to stay there as long as the fever persists, or the possibility that you may have to be in isolation forever?
I would rather, like I said, take an escape pod. I don't want to have that injected in me if it's going to be forever.
But it might not be forever. It's only as long as it takes to resolve the fever. If you're convinced that the fever will break soon, then we'll be able to remove the device soon.
And remember, even if we aren't able to get to the fever done by the time we get to where we're heading, they have more advanced technology. They have more educated individuals there. They should be able to help you. This is just a temporary fix until then. Thanks, Mom.
He goes, Lieutenant Runa says, we're 6 days away. At Deep Space Nine, they could actually learn a bit more about you and your genetics, and you realize, and they're probably going to find a different way and different method to dealing with it, and they can easily remove it then when they find out if it still persists.
All right, roll presence and medicine or command. The difficulty is just 1 at this point. You've convinced them slightly. You've hammered them down a bit from a difficulty 2 to a difficulty 1. I don't care which one of you rolls it, which one of you assists, but
Who wants to?
all right. Do you want to assist?
I'll do.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do the assist.
All right, so you guys plus
Yep,
1 difficult,
so-
plus 1 momentum. He nods slowly and walks over to you guys to kind of take a seat on the bed. So a couple of things before anyone else continues, because I've accumulated some notes here as you guys were role playing. Number 1, Josh, I messaged you, but you probably didn't get it. Can you roll control?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
It's
looking
fine.
at.
Control and
I was
con.
watching roll 20.
Difficulty 1.
Sure.
Also, Snowball, if you could mute yourself, we can literally hear everything going on, and it's really distracting. When you're not talking, if you could mute yourself, that'd be fine. I think that's it for now.
It's just to fly the ship. I am so sorry.
That's fine. Like I said, everyone was role playing. I didn't want to interrupt, so I tried to type it. Cool. So the difficulty was 1.
aggressively.
Yep, you aggressively, or you efficiently pilot the ship with a plus 2 momentum. So you are at full momentum. You guys have convinced, and for the sake, because it is Starfleet, it is the future. Let's say that this device that you're gonna put in him is like the size of a rice, like a piece of rice or something. Like it's not like a Borg implant or anything like that. But
Yeah.
so who wants to do the actual injecting of control and medicine? Does anyone want to do that?
I'll let one of the medical officers.
Yeah, control
I'm a
and
psychiatrist. I'd rather not.
Control.
my
and-
control and medicine is okay. I would probably use some momentum on this.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Go right ahead.
Difficulty's
Go right
only
ahead. We're at
1.
max.
All right, so use 1. Hopefully, if it screws up, I can just. All right. I hope this works. Well, all right.
Okay. Well, you got 2, so you guys are back up to max momentum. For the sake of time, I'm gonna say you guys inject him. You successfully mitigate his xanthe fever. Over the course of the next 12 hours or so, it breaks, and he finally, everyone begins to start feeling normal, or whatever normal is in when you're in the future in space in Starfleet. You're able to, the feelings that you are, I will say, just to keep it interesting, so that if you want to role play some more with these feelings, you may. That they're there, kind of in the background, but they're not like controlling you anymore. You don't have to roll for it anymore, and they're gonna kind of fade away over several hours, maybe even a few days. However, as Aslot is going back to his job, and Vilo, as your what was it, resentment, begins to fade.
Yeah.
Cadet Vilo, you are summoned to see training instructor Merzek in his quarters or his office.
Not resentful so much anymore?
You might be a little bit, but it's not to the point where you're being insubordinate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you show up and as you enter, training instructor Merzek kind of is leaning back in his chair, looking at you, and says, I would like you to explain your behavior, Mr. Vilo.
Honestly, I don't know what came over me, sir. Usually I definitely wouldn't act this way. I'm feeling better now. I don't... Does he know there's a pathogen on the ship?
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know if he's aware of that.
he's completely aware. He probably knows a lot more than you do, but
Oh, I
he
meant-
wants to hear like your reasoning behind it. He doesn't care too much about what caused it. He just wants to hear your side of it and like why you were feeling, why you react. It's not so much the feelings, it's the reaction and the physical manifestation of it. And he wants to see if that's just something that you do, you know, because I mean, if a Klingon gets angry,
yeah.
that's a bit worse than if a a Vulcan. That's a bit more, you know what I mean. He wants to see if that's something that's typical for you as a person. So he says, like, explain your behavior over the last several hours.
He said, I'm very sorry, sir. I don't know what came over me. I usually don't respond this way. I mean, I'm good at my job. I don't mean to brag, but I don't usually take it out on other people, or I don't let other people get under my skin. But the past couple hours, I don't know. I really don't have a reason for it. It's not like how I normally would respond.
All right, Cadet. Listen, a lot of people over the last several hours have been put through the ringer emotionally, and I'm not going to reprimand anyone for it. Although Cadet Karava did put a dent in the titanium corridor. However, I do expect one thing. I expect you to go to wherever Lieutenant Runa is and apologize. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. With pleasure. I was in the wrong, and I want to make amends myself. You're right.
All right, dismissed.
Thank you, sir. Where Runa is.
Yeah, as you're going to look for her, he is going to press a button on his console and say, Cadet Karava, if you could report to my office, please.
She'll say, yes, sir, and she'll start to head over there immediately.
Okay. Sorry, I'm back, family. When you get there, he says, you were expressing some emotions along with Cadet Vilo and Mr. Velik earlier today, as well as a couple other cadets. I would just like a brief explanation as to why you decided it was pertinent to assault the vehicle that we are currently in.
I said, I'm not sure, sir. Just for some reason, I felt very angry.
It is the effect of the Xanthi fever. We are going to make an announcement to let everybody know that our pilot, who's half Betazoid, underwent a fever that caused emotions to flare out of control, and that part is completely understandable. But I do expect from now on, if such a thing happens, that you restrain your violent impulses. Is that understood, Cadet?
Yes, sir. She would say, and she would sort of, I don't know, do some sort of gesture, I guess. Just sort of like nod.
Okay, dismissed.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, and she'll just leave.
So as you leave, he gets on the comms again and he says, "Attention, cadets and staff of Starfleet Academy. We have had an issue over the last few hours, as some of you are aware. A fever broke out among some of the cadets due to a telepathic virus. Everybody is doing much better now. Do not take everything everyone said or did to heart. However, despite that, despite not reprimanding certain individuals for their actions and behavior, I must remind you that you are a Starfleet officer and you will act accordingly, or you will be sent back to Earth to be discharged from Starfleet. Thank you and goodbye." And he disconnects from the comms. So, Vilo, you arrived to where you finally found Lieutenant Runa. What do you say?
Yeah. I'll walk up to him and say, Lieutenant, I believe I owe you an apology. I acted unprofessionally and to be honest, I don't know why. Everything was just irritating me, resentful, if you will, and it's out of character for me to respond that way. And I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong, and I apologize.
That's okay. It's just I know that if something like that does break out, usually you can't control your emotions at the time.
That's true, especially when you don't know what's happening. You know, I didn't
Yeah.
know this was being affected. And if we could, can we just put it behind us? And I
Yeah.
look forward to hopefully maybe working with you in the future.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't so hard on you, because I know if it was something, it would, yeah, would have came out.
Well, I appreciate your understanding and acceptance of my apology, and thank you so much for your time. And he's kind of ashamed that he acted his way, and maybe he'll just go slink off if he has no further orders. Go slink off to his somewhere to be alone. A little embarrassed.
Here he goes. She goes, and if you feel like you're ever thinking you're an outsider in the Federation, you're not.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate your understanding, and at least now I know I can be affected by such things, and maybe I'll try to keep that in mind in the future. And
Yeah.
if I do start feeling weird, I'll report to sick bay instead of mouthing off, maybe.
Yeah, just to see if it's a problem or something.
Absolutely. So, if you'll excuse me, he's kind of embarrassed. He goes over to his.
Yeah, she lets him go.
Thank you. Kind of slink away. This wasn't his bed, but he'll go stay in his bed.
All right. Does anybody else want to have it say anything to anybody or roleplay any interactions with anyone? Because I'm gonna do a time jump if not.
Well, I'm gonna be brutally honest. After the whole thing just broke down, Prometheus would definitely be mortified from the absolute burst of shattering of his own composure at this point. And
Understandable.
yeah.
Soth is going to assist Corvinus in that, since they seem to be sharing quarters, in a case of just, sit there, be quiet, be present if support is needed. Here's a cup of hot cocoa and a blanket, and just sort of sit there. Just in case.
A gift taco.
Anybody else?
Dorton will offer any of the crew that need to talk about their experience. That of course she's always open to that.
That's what I was looking for. I was like, someone has to want to go talk to a counselor after this. Someone wants. Oh, by the way, Dr. Lambert will go on the intercom and say, if anyone needs to have a session with a counselor or a doctor about what happened, you may talk to me. And since Dorton has already expressed the interest as well, he'll include your name in that as well. So you've got two people that you could talk to if you guys wanted to about what happened. I'm curious. Go ahead, Mac.
Lieutenant Renault will be thinking, yeah, Dr. Lambert probably needs somebody to talk to.
I'm curious about Soth Jaren. So I'm gonna say that his feelings, because it came in late, and also because I did say it might take a couple days to fade. Like I said, it will take a couple days for them to fade. It'd probably be the last of the group's feelings to fade. So I would like to know what Soth Jaren, what he does, what he doesn't do, if he says anything to Ukath or to Aslad.
Yep. So, what that Soth will be doing regarding the Uklath is there was no attraction before the infection, but the elements of attraction they're not entirely ridiculous in even his sober mind, and he's not entirely sure whether it was pure infection and nothing, or if the infection kicks something that might actually persist longer term. He doesn't quite know where to go, what to do.
Well, I will give
and
you
he's
one piece
aware
of
that if he
information.
acts,
You do
Yes.
know that those emotions were not yours to start with; they were the pilot. So you might have some competition if he tries to figure that out in a long term sense, if that makes any sense.
Indeed. And he's aware of that, which sort of complicates the scenario. But also, he knows that necessarily the emotions aren't his, particularly at this stage. But that doesn't stop the fact that they are felt and they seem entirely real to him. It's like, oh yeah, I'm told these things aren't real, but yes, they are. The fools. And so his instinct and his academic mind are very much at odds. As a result of which, he is going to be acting in a manner that is, shall we say, particularly aimed to please somebody officious and hardline. You know, he's going to be like leaning into that, but he's not going to make any overt moves in any direction until he is convinced that the virus has been flushed out of his system, until he knows it's gone, until it's completely out of its incubation, as it were, period. And there, although it's not incubation, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
It's symptomatic period. And then if it continues to persist, or if something lingers, he may act. If it's completely flushed out of his system, then he'll just walk off. And that remains to be seen. That'll be a few days. If he didn't know it was a virus, he'd have done something by now. But because he knows it is, and he'll try to sort of, shall we say, avoid her company. Not way too much, but just if they don't have to be together, he won't be. Just in case he does something stupid, pushed by the infection.
Gotcha. So, and I obviously this is not everybody, but for me anyway. So I would equate the feeling and what he's thinking and feeling to like somebody that you used to have really good, a lot of feelings for, and then you guys like split up, and then you look back and you're like, you remember having those feelings, but you're like, why did I ever feel like that towards that person? You know. Now that's how I feel sometimes. I don't know about everyone else, but that's kind of where he's at. He can physically remember the feelings that he had, but like he can't replicate them, if that makes any sense. And and of course, he basically, the way he sees her now is like how he saw her before. But he does still remember that he had those feelings, and if he decides to try to pursue anything or anything like that, that's completely fine. But like the actual feelings will eventually go away.
Yeah, indeed. And he's kind of anticipating that. He thinks that's sort of 70 to 80% chance what's going to happen. But just in case that 20% turns out to be true,
and
he'll be cautious for the few days.
There is the chance that the experience itself might kind of ignite something in him, but that would be completely different than having the original feelings.
Yeah, exactly, and not just that, but also more broadly, he had never even conceived before now of a world where this might be possible for someone who wasn't an Andorian. So, which is, I guess, oh, hang on.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, and one other person that I definitely want to pick their brain on. What about Velik? What, after experiencing the hopelessness that he felt, and presumably never, at least consciously, feeling that before, what is he thinking now?
Well, I guess this is partially like a Vulcan thing. They're very cynical. They're very pragmatic, and they see the world for how real it is. Like they're very realistic in that sense. So pessimistic, I guess you could say. So it's more of I'd say it's more of another week for him, that another one of the bad weeks that he's ever had. Like during, like for instance, when his mother left, and the whole backstory that he had these kind of. Yeah.
So it's nothing completely alien. After all, he is half half Vulcan. He's not completely Vulcan. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember. Did Krava not realize he's being really depressed? She was talking to him for a while.
Yeah, but I think Karava was also dealing with.
He tried to calm her down. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
but also Karava was super resentful. I think that was Karava was trying to deal with her own issues while also trying to, talk to him about his. So I don't imagine that it was very successful.
No.
All right. If nobody else has anything, then we're gonna do a time jump several days. You guys are going to arrive at Deep Space Nine. I definitely should have had the Deep Space Nine music playing when you guys transferred over there. Oh well. Oh, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Alright, so you guys arrive. You find a couple of ships, a Galaxy and a Defiant class, already docked. Your escort... Oh, definitely gotta turn that down. Your escort ship kind of moves off to patrol a bit before docking. You guys, your two transport ships, go to one of the pylons each and dock. As you guys are at this point in time, you guys will be kind of sitting in your passenger area, and training instructor Merzek stands and looks at everyone and says, "You've all got 6 hours of shore leave before we go through the wormhole into the Gamma Quadrant." And for out of character reasons. So basically he gives you the typical spiel of like, you can do this, you can do that, go to the holosuite, have fun, don't drink on duty, the typical things, safety briefings as they call them. However, out of character, I will tell you, obviously I didn't prepare for every single possible thing that you could do on this space station, so I'll give you some suggestions and I may or may not have prepared for. Quark's bar is obviously always a good one, except being that you are cadets and on duty, technically do not drink actual alcohol because they will find out. You can go to the holosuite, obviously, for simulations or just to have fun, leisure. There's the Replomat, which is just generally a place to eat. Klingon restaurant. A Bajoran temple if you're a Bajoran or part Bajoran and you've got a spiritual side or just curious. And there's a couple other things like Garrick's Clothier, which it's called Garrick's Clothier still, even though Garrick doesn't physically work there. And there's a couple other restaurants, Andorian restaurants, Vulcan restaurants, Bolian restaurants, etc. So yeah, first of all, I'm gonna go down the list, see if anybody wants to go as a group to somewhere. And if you do, then I'm gonna write that down because I will need to remember that. All right. So where's Karava? Where does Karava want to go?
Karava probably would wanna would take Z to the Bajoran temple.
Okay. Does Z want to go there?
Velik would like to go there, of course. Z, I don't know about that.
Oh, Velik. I mean, Velik.
Sorry. Yeah. All right.
It's all good.
Anybody else want to go to the Bajoran temple with Karava and Velik?
Cadet Johnson.
Johnson. All right. Anybody else?
Perhaps I could have a look.
All right.
And Cadet Dorton, because there are a bunch of people going there, kind of wants to observe this behavior.
Okay.
Curiosity is very intriguing.
Indeed. And
Yes.
what about Cadet Merc? Where does he want to go?
Wait, Viola, yeah. Oh, go to Replomat.
Oh, I definitely thought he would have gone to Quark's bar, being a Ferengi. Oh wait, he's not a Ferengi. He's Vilo. Sorry, I keep doing that.
Yeah.
All right, so Vilo's going to the Replomat. Anybody else going to the Replomat to get some foods? Now you do have what's it called? You do have replicators on the ship. However, the Replomat, you are able to bring actual food from like the Klingon restaurant or something like that to sit down and eat. So it's got a bit more variety there. Nobody else wants to go to the Replomat with Vilo. It's just gonna be Vilo. I'll add Heinz with Vilo, so he has.
Oh,
somebody.
okay.
All right.
It's fine. He'll just do studying while he's there and eat and try the different foods.
All right. What about Aaron?
Yeah, Soth will extend an open invitation to absolutely everybody, but he will in no way be offended if people turn it down. What he's going to try and do is he'll probably start at Quark's Bar, but he's looking for the crew of the Defiant class, who are on shore leave themselves, presumably.
Right.
And he wants to talk to the crew of the Defiant class about how they're using their ship, pros, cons, things they've learnt in the field.
Gotcha.
Partly to do final edits of his soon-to-be-published sort of thesis, which is probably circulating, and also genuinely to learn that kind of information.
All right, and let's see. Sorry, I gotta.
Shrell would follow Soth. He's
Okay.
kind of got an interest in shipboard tactics, that type of thing too. So he's also a
Nice.
little bit interested in how that works.
I was like, I got these names. All right, and Tali, what about Yeezen? Where's he want to head?
So I would like to head over towards Quark's Bar, but I would like to order some food that is not of Andoria.
Okay. So we got 3 Andorans going to Quark Bar. That sounds like the beginning of a joke. Anyway, I don't think Snowpaw said yet. What about Snowpaw? Maybe Snowpaw's AFK. Alright. So we got...
Oh, I'd also say...
I posted it in the chat because there's a lot of noise over here.
Oh, sorry, yep.
Should probably see if, she probably would have called her mother or something, telling her that she was on the way to Deep Space Nine. To maybe, like, send some sort of homemade treats or something for everybody.
So you want Karava's mother to meet her on Deep Space Nine? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, like to just send treats or something. Like,
Okay.
like she would have told her that they were going to Deep Space Nine from Earth, and like to send like a care package or something. So like leave like Bajoran and some Romulan sort of treats.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Snowpaw
Confectionaries
is going to the Replimet as well, but then is gonna be looking for a cybernetic place. So you want cybernet lab, okay. So you want Karava's mom to send treats to you on Deep Space Nine? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, because she lives on
where does
her planet's Prophet's Landing.
Oh, okay. I will write that down as well then. Karava's mom, because I remembered Karava was Bajoran, I just didn't remember where her parents were from.
Oh, her mother's Bajoran, her father's Romulan.
Prophet's Landing.
Yeah. They're farmers on Prophet's Landing.
Oh, okay. Sends treats to DS9 for cadets, which actually happened to me a lot in the military, so it's definitely something that will happen. All right, so does anybody, just because I made it and I want to see how it turns out, does anyone want to play Dabo?
I'll play a session of Dabo real quick because I gotta go like really soon.
Okay, do you have a D6 and a D12?
Give me a second for the D12, unless you can roll it for me, because
I can roll the D12 for you. Just roll the D6 and the D20, and then we have. And then let me know what they are, what numbers they are.
5 and a 13.
All right, so 5 and a 13. Let's see. All numbers 6 or under? No. All numbers odd or even? A 6 and a 13? No. You said a 6 and a 13?
5 and a 13.
5 and a 13. I'm gonna write that down because I will forget. So yeah, they're all odd. So you get a small bit of gold pressed latinum, so a few slips of gold pressed latinum. Let's see. All numbers are the same. No. All ones. No. So you don't get a Dabo, but you do get a tiny bit of latinum. Does anyone else want to play? All right. So we will start then, since we're already there, at Quark's Bar. Charon, Krylos, Yeezen, and since we're doing all
Andorians.
Andorians. I'm gonna bring what's his name over? NPC. There he is. Ejashar. So he is gonna hang out with you guys. And it looks like also a whole lot of security, a lot of security Andorians. Let's see. It was Krylo, Charon, Yeezan. That's who it was. Yep, all three of you walk in. You do see a Ferengi behind the bar, but it is not Quark. It is just some random Ferengi. You see a Lurian that looks like Morn sitting at the bar, but it's probably not him. He's probably dead by now. You see a bunch of individuals, and I did not have time to do the ambience for this. But you do see a bunch of other individuals. What do you guys want to do?
Scan for Starfleet uniforms.
Oh yeah, you see a couple, not a whole lot. I mean, the space station is run by Bajorans now, but you do see a few.
Okay, all right. As we came in, or with a quick look up, if that's available information once we get in, do we know the name of the Defiant class ship that's docked?
Yes, it is the USS Defiant.
Oh, it is the Defiant itself.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
It has been refit. It has been
Nice.
refit, but it is a version of the Defiant.
All right. In that, okay. Do we know, by the way, if the refit version of the Defiant still has the cloak, or has that been taken away?
I don't know, because I actually thought of that the other day, and I was like, I can't remember what I decided. I would definitely say that you guys would not know.
Okay.
Well, if you follow the shows, the Defiant that had the cloak was destroyed, and they got a new Defiant, and that one did not have the cloak.
Oh, it didn't? I thought it did.
No.
Okay, well, either way, cadets would definitely not know.
We don't know. Okay. Well, in that case, Soth will walk up towards some of the people in Starfleet uniforms, eyeing their rank pips as he approaches, so he knows what to say and what manner to adopt.
Mm-hmm. So you find a let's see. Oh no, they're all Starfleet. You find one of each, one in a blue uniform, one in a red, and one in a gold, sitting at a table eating. They all have ensign rank.
Okay. We'll sort of head up to or rather, Soth will head up to the table generally, and say, I do apologize for interrupting, ensigns. I am Cadet Soth Sharan, recently arrived, and if you have a moment, I'd like to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about your work and your postings here.
They look at you, and they look a bit confused at first. You're not sure why, but then one of them, the one in the red, says, I'm not posted on the station, if that's what you're asking."
Yes, out of character. Does the station and Defiant still have the same merged crew, or or do we just not know?
I don't think you would know that. I think
fair enough.
But I do think that being this is a Bajoran base that's kind of at best visited by Starfleet, then the Defiant is probably just here on a mission.
Okay. In that case, he'll carry on and say, I apologize if I was not clear in how I spoke. I'm interested in talking to any crew members that may be assigned to the Defiant.
The guy in red and the guy in gold turn to look at the individual in blue, and he lifts a hand. He says, "I'm a science officer on the Defiant."
Out of character. That's interesting. There don't tend to be many of those, but
They still have to have some.
They still have to have some. So he'll turn to that particular ensign and say, Ensign, thank you. If I may have a moment of your time, I'd be happy to buy your next. And is he drinking seemingly something alcoholic? Is he just eating food?
He's drinking something that's clear like water, and he is eating something that has a lot of green in it. You're not sure if it's synthesized vegetables or if it's something that was actually prepared, though.
Mm-hmm. And
kind of like a stir fry.
Yeah, and is Quarks still a for-profit business? Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean it's run by Ferengi, so yeah.
Yeah. So no free stuff here. He'll say, I'd be happy to buy you your next course or drink in exchange for just a few moments of your time, Ensign, to talk about the Defiant and how it runs and some of the strengths and weaknesses of the craft and some of the difficulties that you've run into in your time posted aboard her.
He kind of looks at you and nods very slowly. I says, okay, I didn't know cadets would have gold-pressed latinum, though.
This time I would like to come up and place a piece of gold-pressed latinum down on the table.
They raise a brow when they see that, and he says, by all means.
Oh, well done. Soth gives a sort of approving, thankful nod.
Nice.
Yes, he'll then say, "I've been most rude. Allow me to introduce you to," and he turns behind him, Cadet Shrel Rylos and Cadet Tol Thesian, who are accompanying me.
Yep.
Etchishar
Shrel
just
kindly
stands
nod.
in the background.
Yeah.
Shrel nods towards the group.
Yeah, so with that done, Soth will just take a seat. He's in now, and he'll start saying, "So as a science officer, what sort of issues are you dealing with specifically on the Defiant? I know it's not exactly a normal posting with normal work for a science officer."
He just gives you like a smirk, and he nods and says, he says something similar to what I said. He says every Starfleet ship has to have a few science officers, but there is a lot of gold shirts these days on those smaller escort ships. So you're right to assume.
And Soth would ideally like to speak to a gold shirt at some point, but that would be rude. And this person still has valuable insights. And so he'll talk to him about, say, the sort of most recent work that he did, and how the Defiant and its makeup sort of helped him, hindered him, what its limitations are in his field, and if he wanted to make an alteration to either how the Defiant is used or how the Defiant is built, what would be his recommendations?
Well, he kind of leans back. He says, that neutronium armor that they've got on it, I mean, yeah, it's indestructible, but it slows the ship down a lot. Its maximum warp is 6 at this point. Impulse is... It will be lucky if we can get half impulse. That neutronium armor is just too dense for those newer, smaller ships, I mean.
That makes a lot of sense. It's something that I'm a little concerned about myself, reading through the reports, but reports never give you the same insight as talking to someone who was actually there. Do you think that that would be solved by something on a similar design but with the new transwarp technology? Or do you think a similar problem will manifest? Is it too much even for that?
I think that this conflict with the infamous Allegiance has frightened Starfleet from their scientific endeavors into putting whatever they possibly can into making ships more durable at the cost of the other parts of the ship. But in the end, I don't think it's gonna matter a whole lot, to be honest with you, Cadet.
Why do you not think it will matter?
Well, I mean, the infamous allegiance has ships that have neutronium armor as standard, much larger than a Defiant, with anti-proton weapons. I mean, it would be lucky if we survived a day at war with them if it ever happened.
Okay. Permission. Out of character. Yeah. Well, and also too soft. This seems like unusual talk for a Starfleet officer. The concerns are valid. The defeatist attitude he wasn't expecting. So permission to do an probably, I'm guessing it would be insight security roll.
Sure.
To see if there's something like slightly odd or up with this ensign. Probably not. He's probably fine.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Insight security, difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1. We've got plenty of momentum, which is good because I'm probably going to get a complication. But here we go. Yeah. There's that complication. I will use I'll buy it off with 2 points because I don't want to start calling people a spy suddenly.
All right.
It takes us to 6.
Yeah. So
so it's that 6 momentum, a success with no additional momentum.
So you do notice on his uniform sleeve a hint of what's the word I'm looking for? Like grease. He's wearing the uniform that the all good things uniform. So he's got like the completely all blue uniform.
Hello there.
I was just wondering the same thing.
Oh, I muted myself, didn't I? All right, so yeah, he's wearing the all blue uniform, so his sleeves are blue; they're not black. But you do notice on the corner or on the ends of the sleeves, a bit of grease, dirt, maybe a hint of blood. It's safe to say that the Defiant has probably seen action recently.
Right. Okay. And did she look battered up as we came in?
No, I mean that could just be because they were, repaired before you got here. But you definitely know that it had to have been within the last few hours. Otherwise, he wouldn't still be wearing the same uniform he was in when he was in whatever happened. If that makes any sense.
That strikes Soth as unusual because it's usually easier to change and clean clothes than it is to fix a ship, even the aesthetics of the ship.
Well,
he'd expect the carry on.
No, go ahead. I was going to tell you something, but you wouldn't know this anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, he'd expect the ship repairs to take longer, even if they're relatively minor. So he'll follow that slightly, and it could be an purely internal problem. And say, have you had to face that shortcoming directly recently, Ensign?
As you finish that sentence, you hear all U.S. Magellan crew members, please report to Docking Bay 14. And the guy in red stands up and extends his hand towards the guy in blue. He says, "All right, man, Foster, I'll see you in a few weeks when I get back." He turns to the guy in gold and nods to him, and turns to you and says, "It's been nice meeting you. We've got to go." And then he heads out. Now, sorry, I had to get that in, but can you repeat your question? Because my memory is the literal worst.
So, yeah, he said, well, your concerns are, of course, entirely valid. Have you had to encounter this shortcoming yourself recently, Ensign?
He after his friend leaves, he turns to you and he says, he just shakes his head slowly. And what do you mean? The armor is I mean,
and he nods, but also the shortcomings of the Defiant and our general position. when set against the infamous
He
Starfleet's general position.
he shakes his head. No. Yeah, the infamous allegiance's primary weapon at the moment is intimidation. We don't attack them. They don't attack us. But there will be a time where that will fail, and they will attack us. But no, I've seen my fair share of conflict elsewhere. And that's kind of where he stops. You could tell by the way he looks at you, he does not want to continue down this line of conversation.
Yep. No, Soft gets that. Yeah, he has yet to partake in combat of that form himself. He knows enough people who have to know slightly when to stop. So he has a different line he can take this conversation. But before I do, I don't know if any of the other people who Soft dragged along want to chip in.
Yeah, I was going to ask them that.
Yeah, I want to say, let's get something to eat before we leave.
Speaking of which, since you did technically offer to buy food for this this group that we're already sitting here, an individual does walk up with food, drops a couple trays on the table for the two remaining officers to enjoy. The gold pressed latinum that you put on the table is more than enough for you guys too. If you would like to partake, you don't have to go searching for any more if you don't have to. However, I know one of you, don't remember who, wanted to look for specifically non-Andorian food, and definitely this is a lot of that. A lot of human, Ferengi, and Bajoran food.
That's good with me.
Soth will order up something human because he doesn't want to leave here, but also he wants to establish camaraderie with these people. So he'll order up something human that he's had before and he knows his stomach can take, so he doesn't have an embarrassing incident.
I think Shrell would just order a standard Andorian meal. He was raised on a Federation colony, so he's been exposed to human food before. He'd rather have something from home.
Alright. I'm gonna jump now to the Bajoran Temple to see what kind of shenanigans you guys are gonna get into. Let's see. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Alright, so Karava, Velik, I don't know why I wrote Z, Johnson, Corvinus, and Dorton. You guys show up at the Bajoran Temple. I'll let you figure out what you guys want to do. I'll get an NPC to go along with you if you want as well.
She was just sort of talking about the prophets and stuff. Just like, I just never really seen an orb before, but she was just, but do they have one on display?
Yeah, there is. The last orb that was there was the orb of contemplation, and that is still there.
Okay. Yeah, she was just
Johnson's
talking about
looking
how
at it.
she was just talking about how they how the prophets communicated through the orbs and stuff.
Okay. Cadet Pock enters behind you guys, and she kind of looks around at all the various designs and decorations, and she even starts fiddling with a few things. Does anyone actually physically open the orb to look into it?
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Shocking.
Oh god.
I'm surprised.
Sort of,
not surprised.
As she sort of like approaches, I'm gonna say, maybe don't touch it.
So you're telling
I
everyone
wasn't
not to
gonna-
touch it?
Yeah.
Okay. And does Johnson listen, or does Johnson open it and look into it?
Johnson opens it and looks into it.
All right. Does Karava try to stop him?
Yes.
All right. It's going to be contested. I'm going to go ahead and say that you're probably 6, 7, 8 feet away, so not super far, but not super close. So stopping him from opening it, I mean, unless you're like physically standing next to him, is going to be slightly difficult. But you also know that if you interfere with it with his quote unquote contemplation, that would definitely also offend the prophets as well. So, but
Okay.
if you, I mean, you can try to close it before he actually gets a look in it, but it's not going to be easy. It'll be a difficulty 3, and it'll be contested by Johnson, and Johnson is Dwayne Johnson. So good luck with that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna buy some dice, like 2 dice.
All right.
I'll buy 2 dice as well.
All right, so it's gonna be since Karava is physically actively trying to stop him. For you, it will be daring and security. Johnson, you're just opening the orb with your natural strength, so I'll let you decide on the department, and it'll be control.
Can I do control science?
I mean, that would work. They're wormhole aliens. Technically, they're in the realm of science. So go right ahead. Y'all really trying to open this or not open this? Do you want to get rid of that complication? You have 6 momentum.
Nah.
No? Oh, this will be fun.
Oh god, this is gonna be hilarious.
All right, so let's see. You got 3 successes, and he got a lot more than that. 4, 5, 6. So you guys are plus 3 momentum, so you have a bonus momentum. But I'll tell you what happens first. Karava, you managed to. He only opens it like an inch, maybe 2 inches. He's looking into the white, or he's looking into the orb itself. I forgot what color it is, but but you end up slamming it shut before he can completely, do anything. And as you do that, because he's Dwayne Johnson and he's really strong, basically you're shutting it. Basically makes it so that he accidentally begins to push it off its pedestal. That is the complication.
Okay. Can I try to stop it from falling over?
Yeah, you're gonna have to control, and I'll say security difficulty 2.
I'm gonna spend 2 dice again
Okay.
because she's not gonna. She doesn't want this to break.
Is Johnson assisting or no?
I will.
If he sees it start to fall, he will assist.
Okay. Roll 1, control and security, yeah. This will have to be security. You can't really science your way out of catching something.
I will.
Can I help?
I'll buy it.
No, it's them 2 for now. Trust me, if you can bring more people closer to the orb, you're going to cause more problems. So the good news is you did manage to catch it and stop it from falling. Are you trying to get rid of that complication, Karava?
I don't know. Could be interesting, but it could also be bad.
It will definitely be bad. That's the definition of complication.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll buy the. Not,
Buy it off.
I'll,
All right.
I'll buy it to buy it off.
All right. So you're down to 5 momentum. You don't have a complication. So you notice that as you straighten the orb back up, and you kind of, it looks like from behind that you guys are just 2 people standing in front of it, and that is when a couple of Bajoran monks enter and look around kind of suspiciously, but they don't really say anything. They just go and do some prayers and stuff. Yeah. So yeah. Whoops. That's not a Bajoran monk. That's a ship. If that was in there, you'd be in real trouble.
Suddenly, a runabout flies into the temple.
Right.
Not for Johnson.
All right. Let's see. All right. So now that Karava and Johnson have done what they're gonna do, Corvinus, Velik, and Dorton, what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to go up to Karava and start engaging her in some conversation about her religious beliefs and what normal practices are here in the temple when you're visiting. And do you treat the prophets like a first contact situation or a reverence situation?
We usually revere them. Um, I would say, would people still be as praying and worshipful now, a couple of years after they sort of found out about the temple and all that stuff?
Sorry, what was that?
Would people still be like as reverent as they were, say, beforehand, with
Would
like because of the discovery of like the temple,
like the
the
wormhole?
was it celestial temple and all that?
I mean, I don't think the Bajorans would change their religion based on the events of Deep Space Nine, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, she would just sort of explain how like she doesn't actually know too much about like the deep lore of of like, you know what I mean? Like, so like if it was like the Catholic Church, she wouldn't know too much about like cardinals or like she knows they exist, but she doesn't know about the sort of deep sort of practices of like the religion itself. But like she knows about like how to, praying and like basic sort of like lay member kind of stuff.
And Dorton will be interestingly tapping away at the pad that she's holding.
But if to open the orb, do you need to have ask permission from somebody?
Oh, so you don't
Machine?
just walk up like Johnson did.
Yeah. No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking DM.
Oh, it depends. I think that if a bunch of cadets ran in and started messing with the orb, they'd probably say something about it. So it's probably good to talk to the monks first.
Yeah, I'll say to Johnson. If you wish to open the orb, I would say talk to the monks and ask their permission because it's super disrespectful to sort of just open a holy relic of my people just like willy nilly.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
you know the Dax and Cisco and them, they did it on Deep Space Nine, but they were also known people of
Yeah,
they were
I mean,
known.
Cisco was
He,
the speaker of the prophets or something?
I don't know, but
you guys
I do
can't.
remember a bunch of people on Deep Space Nine who were not known who tried to like steal the orb and stuff like that, and they didn't like
Yeah,
that. So yeah, you just got to make
yeah,
sure that you talk to someone.
Yeah,
You
Cisco
talk
guys,
to
is the
somebody.
emissary of the prophets.
Yeah. He's the
he asked the monks that, can I have a look at the orb? You can stand right next to me.
That one of them stands on her tippy toes and reaches up and grabs his ear, and he says, "Your paw is strong," and he pinches your ear. What does he say?
You guys, can I have a look at the orb?
Do you have a need of contemplation, my friend?
Yeah, I found it interesting, and I was just, I don't want to damage it or anything. I just want to take a closer look at it.
He tilts his head
But
and he looks at you. He says, You are not human, although you look human."
mm, that's correct. I'm not human.
What?
My body construction is android, but my brain isn't.
You are not from here. You are closer to the prophets than you know.
He shakes his head.
Very well.
Yes.
You may look into the prophets. You may look into the orb of contemplation. However, you may not see what you wish to see. So go ahead. They're gonna stand by and
He
watch,
goes.
though.
Yeah. He'll allow them to stand right next to him when he opens it, so it doesn't look like,
Right.
yeah, so they know that he's not disrespecting it.
So you open it
He
and look
respects
inside.
religion. Yeah.
All right.
Hold on, give me a second.
Yep. Just mute yourself.
me.
So you open it and you see a white void, and you hear a heartbeat. It sounds like your own, but it sounds a lot louder than it should be. And you see Mr. Braden Hines walk up to you, and he says, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" Does Johnson respond?
Okay. I'm Cadet Johnson, and I'm. Okay, I was just looking at the orb. Oh, this is something that. Oh, yeah. You're one of the prophets, ain't you?
I do not understand your line of inquiry. Why are you here?
I don't know. The the contemplation orb actually brought me here. I was looking at it.
Dr. Lambert walks up behind you out of nowhere, says, "It does not understand."
I'm still new in infancy. I don't understand anything. I'm still learning.
And Braden Hines tilts his head slightly and says, "What are you learning?"
Everything about myself.
Commandant of Starfleet Academy, Mr. Massey, walks up beside you without you even noticing. "It does not understand. It will never understand. We must leave it. Leave it be."
Huh? You don't know who I'm.
"We know who you
Yeah,
are. You do not know who you are."
yeah. I like to enjoy, I'm slowly learning. It's just, it takes me a long time. I,
"It is not a matter of computing capacity," says Dr. Lambert. "It is a matter of time."
hmm. How's time gonna be? He goes, I'm not computering it. It's just seems so interesting time. I like learning new things.
Cadet Ukath
Interesting.
walks up behind you and says, "There is more to this life than learning, and you cannot learn what that is."
The unknown void of everything.
"The six will come. You will not survive."
Hmm. These six are very interesting to learn. Oh, not interesting to learn, but must have weaknesses.
"The six will come." And with that, there is a bright flash, and you are transported back to the Bajoran Temple.
Huh? He goes, huh? He closed the box and he goes, okay. I'm stepping back.
Cadet Pak walks up and says, "What did you see? What did you see?" And one of the Bajoran monks walks up and says, "It is for Johnson. It is for the cadet alone. Do not impress upon him what is private."
He goes, okay.
All right, let's jump from here to the Replomat. Oof. Do not have. I'll just go this one. Yeah, I'll do this one.
Oh man, the Replomat.
Yeah. I don't have a picture of the Replomat, but that's fine. Alright. Replomat. Let me find all the Replomat people. I've already forgotten who they were. Vilo, I know, is one. I think Snowpaw is going to be there for a bit and then fuck off to a cybernetics lab or something. And then Hines. Yeah, Hines. So let me find Hines. Did I? Oh, I have them in fucking player characters instead of NPCs. Alright, so you guys are across from the Quarks Bar and the temple, the Bajoran temple. Heinz has grabbed. He goes to the replicator, gets himself some Alfredo noodle, a bowl of Alfredo noodles, and sits down and munches it down. What about Vilo? What's he getting? Or is he looking for real food?
Oh, he's looking for he's looking for dishes he can't. He's mumbling to himself. He's going through there. He's looking for dishes that aren't from the Alpha Quadrant. He's looking more something exotic from the Gamma Quadrant. And he's come across a Dosian dish or something. He can't pronounce it. He just wants to try it. Wants to try something different.
Would you say a Scion dish?
The Dosian.
Dosai, yeah.
The
yep.
traitor race.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
just said Dosian. Yeah.
Yeah. You find a Dosai dish. It is literally 99% meat, and the 1% is just a plate. So it's pretty much all meat, and it's got so. It looks like it's been painted, like it looks like it has face paint on it, but it's really just like some kind of red sauce that they poured on it, and you can smell the sauce is like really sweet, but the meat is like really, meaty because it's meat. You would equate it to like a steak, basically.
Fair enough. He'll sit down and I guess he'll join. I don't know. Would they look like they're open for company?
Oh yeah, Heinz is following you wherever you and Snowpaw wherever you go, basically.
Oh, okay. So is Heinz sitting down already, or?
Oh yeah, he's already face deep in his Alfredo sauce pasta.
So he'll sit down and sing may I join you?
Please, because this is delicious. You should try it. I mean, it's.
Oh, I've had human
Yeah.
human food before. Have you had this? I've never tried this before. This is going to be interesting.
I mean, no, but tell me if you die, and I'll eat it if you don't.
That's well. Let's hope that doesn't happen. See.
What about?
So he'll cut into it.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, so he'll cut into it and take a bite of it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he likes it or not.
Yeah, it's like steak, but also very sweet. It's like when you put that. I mean, to me it's good, but others might not like it. But it's like on Thanksgiving when you have like that cranberry sauce and you put it with the turkey. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not bad. Not bad. He says, I've had a lot of Alpha Quadrant, Beta Quadrant dishes. Being Orion, you get exposed to a lot of trading and one way or the other. I wanted to try something a little different here. They don't have this back home, and so this is pretty good. I recommend you want some of it.
Sure. He tries it and pukes. No, I'm just kidding. He tries it and
All right.
and coughs like he doesn't like it. He spits it out in a napkin. And what about Snowpaw? Does Snowpaw come over with a different meal?
Yeah, she probably would. Just a regular human type steak, and sit down with some green beans and potato.
Oh, where's your guys' sense of adventure? So
She looks at you and goes, "You see my teeth?"
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You've convinced Heinz to get up and go try something with a bit more protein. Both of you are eating a meat, and so he decides, I'm gonna go get something that is the equivalent. He looks at the you're sitting right next to the replicator. He looks at the replicator, and he looks over his shoulder. And he's like, "What is Herosian Prey number 703?" I'll try it.
I'll come and go. Get ready to catch.
There's only one way to find out. Give it a shot.
He replicates it, and it's like it's dead, of course, but it is like a dog-sized squid, basically, that has clearly been shot with a plasma rifle, and he just is like, "Nope, I'm done," and he walks out of the replicat.
Wait, you're not going to eat it?
Nope, you can have it.
You want to share?
Absolutely. Never had this either. Let's try this.
All right, so
That's pretty.
so I'm gonna say, unless you guys, I'm gonna say we have like 10-15 minutes to wrap up the Deep Space Nine bit of it. Is there anything that you guys like just have to do on Deep Space Nine before you leave?
The only thing I was looking at doing was trying to. Wait, this is just a stop for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to see about getting some information.
Oh yeah, the cybernetics.
And learn more. Yeah, about the cybernetics, because I want to build something, and I want to talk with you later about that.
I might have Cravo talk with Velik.
Okay, we'll go back to that. Snowpaw.
We can do it next session. That's fine, because I have like in 4 hours I have work, so I gotta go.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'll just have it. So for the next session then.
Okay.
She's gonna ask Velik, does he wanna look at the orb of contemplation? Because she noticed that he's been having some conflicting thoughts for a while.
Okay, if that's the only thing, then I would rather do that like quick, because I want to finish the Deep Space Nine part now, if possible.
Okay.
So we can do that quickly, I think.
Yeah.
So so he goes up to ask you if you want to look at the orb of contemplation. Does Velik?
Yeah, at this point, Velik is interested.
Okay.
Intrigued.
Does anyone try to stop him this time?
No.
Okay.
I think she thinks that he needs to look at it.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, I maybe. All right. So I will tell you what. I will let Z. I mean, you're a GM. You play captains. You're pretty good at this. Being creative. I will let you decide what he sees in the orb of contemplation.
Okay. Right. And do we have to like say that out loud, or?
You don't have to. I would like you to send it to me though, so I can use it later. But you don't have to say it out loud.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can definitely send you like, because this is more or less a continuation of his backstory, so
Gotcha.
That's what I was planning for him anyway.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Like,
sorry, go ahead.
I might share it with Korava at some point when we have like our own little discussion between each other. So
cool. Anybody else got anything? All right. In that case, then I will do reputation and milestone. Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, he's asking who he's sharing the dog with. That'd be me, Philo.
No, it's not a dog. It's a giant squid that is about the size of a dog. Although, you know what? We could say it also has fur and a snout like a dog. That way, it is definitely alien. Now I have to Google that to find that so I can actually send that picture to you. All right, great. Yeah, but no, does anyone have... we will do the cybernetic thing next time, Snowpaw, because that's something that we can... Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask him in character a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So, what emotion did you feel over the whole thing that happened?
He stops chewing. He looks like a... Yeah, about that. I don't know. I was really, aggressive. I don't know. I was agitated by everybody. What emotion did you experience?
One one that I've dealt with before, long ago, and just seeing everybody with their natural arms started to really bother the shit out of me.
So it wasn't a good experience you experienced before, I take it.
Nope, not at all.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, there's an accident when I was a child, and traumatic, and that's when I ended up losing both my arms.
Oh.
And try sitting in a hospital for a long time, seeing people, and you know that you've lost something, and you start to get jealous and envious and other things like that. So,
I can imagine that.
No. And of course, on the ship today, or not today, this week, that's exactly what I got hit with again. Though I've dealt with it before. So, It's the only reason I could think that I had any control this time.
Oh, because you've experienced it before.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Trust me, I've attacked people. I was in the hospital, though. Somebody without arms trying to attack somebody's kind of hard.
Yeah, that would be a complication, so to say.
Yeah.
Takes another bite. I don't know why I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry you had to relive it. That sounds traumatic. I'm glad they were able to get you going from there. Was it a long recovery for you?
Yes, many surgeries, a lot of recovery. Not sure how, it wasn't fun. I went through many surgeries growing up too, to replace and whatnot, because the body grows, but those don't.
I understand. I can imagine not be. But I mean, at least you have something you can relate yours to. I don't have any experiences like that before, so it was kind of out of character for me entirely. At least you were somewhat prepared to deal with it, I guess, if there's any bright side to it.
I don't think anybody was prepared for what just happened to them.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, even though I got hit with it, I was only lucky enough because I've had to go through much counseling and other stuff like that, and somehow kept my composure to it. But when you look at everybody and what was going on, I mean, even some of the senior people, they couldn't hold it together either. And I'm sure they've been through some shit.
That's true. That's true. But,
don't go beating yourself up too bad.
I appreciate it. I was on the borderline of getting reprimanded, but I think they're willing to overlook it. I may have sowed some seeds of doubt.
I'm pretty sure he was having his own issues too.
Yeah. But now I know. If something like that happens again, I know where to go, right? I go straight to sick bay.
As long as the doctor isn't, as long as the doctor isn't in the corner crying about nobody loving him,
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I guess he goes. Well, I guess I best be going. This is good talking with you.
You too. And we'll go our separate ways at that point.
Okay.
All
right. So I have an idea. So what we'll do regarding the cybernetics R&D, first of all, Deep Space Nine's R&D is nowhere near as good as the Earth Space Dock one. But what we'll do is next episode we'll basically do like a retroactively, like here's what happened there, blah blah blah, rather than trying to role play it out. Is that okay?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine, because that's what I mean. You and I can discuss it and whatnot.
Yeah. We can even discuss it before the game and then have it ready by the time the game starts, if that's better.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just write it up and send you a link to what I'm looking at.
Okay, that's fine.
And let you look to it.
That's cool. So I'll do reputation and milestones probably tomorrow because I'm tired. Does anyone have any questions or anything? If not, then I will see you guys. I'll see some of you probably tomorrow. I'll see others Thursday, others Saturday. But either way, I'll see you all later.
You all have a good night.
All right.
Good night.
See ya.
Yeah.